There is an ancient truth, whispered through time, that kings and queens once ruled not lands but their own hearts. Their throne was inner stillness, their crown was self-mastery. The world has long forgotten this kind of royalty, yet it still lives within you, hidden, waiting. Many feel ordinary, unseen, or disconnected from purpose, but deep beneath the noise, every human carries a royal lineage, the inheritance of awareness, discipline, and harmony. This is not myth. It is a living principle once guarded by the warrior monks of Shaolin. They knew that true power was never about conquering others, but about mastering the self. In this teaching, I will guide you through a secret few have understood the path of the inner sovereign. You will learn how to recognize your true identity, not the one shaped by opinions or fear, but the one born from presence and virtue. You will see how the body, breath, and mind can unite to awaken your hidden potential. Stay until the end, because within this message lies something many search for but rarely find: the moment you meet yourself as you truly are. This is where your lineage begins to speak, where the crown of awareness rests quietly upon your being. This is not a story of the past. It is a call to remember who you have always been. Welcome to Shaolin SoulFire, where we awaken ancient wisdom for the modern spirit. If these words resonate with you, join our path, subscribe, stay centered, and walk this journey with us. Your true inheritance awaits. There is a silence deeper than words, a space within you that watches everything, yet remains untouched. Most people never reach it, because their attention is always pulled outward, toward noise, toward tasks, toward the endless movement of life. But in Shaolin teaching, the first gate to true mastery is awareness, the art of turning the gaze inward. When I was a young disciple, my master once said, "You can spend a lifetime mastering forms, but if you cannot observe your own mind, you are still a beginner." I did not understand then. I thought strength was in movement, in perfect technique. Only later, through stillness, I discovered that real strength is in seeing clearly, seeing yourself. To recognize who you truly are, you must first notice who you are not. The mask that smiles when the heart is heavy. The role that speaks when silence would be truer. The mind that reacts before the soul can breathe. Observe all of this, not to judge it, but to witness it. For awareness alone begins to dissolve illusion. In Shaolin practice, even a simple breath becomes a mirror. When you inhale, feel the body receive. When you exhale, feel what is released. The mind may wander, but your attention, gentle and patient, brings it home. Over time, this practice strips away false layers until only presence remains. Ask yourself, who am I when no one is watching? Who am I when I do not strive to be seen, praised, or understood? In that quiet honesty, the deeper self begins to appear, calm, radiant, unchanging. This awareness is your true identity. It does not need to be created. It only needs to be remembered. There are moments in life when the noise quiets just enough for you to hear the counsel within. Not a meeting of people, but of forces. Your purpose sits across from your fear, your courage leans forward, your doubt whispers from the corner. All of them have a voice. All of them live inside you. The Shaolin masters teach that mastery begins when the body, mind, and spirit meet in the same place at the same time. Most people never call this meeting. Their mind runs ahead, their body drags behind, their spirit waits in silence. But when you choose awareness, when you slow your breath and bring all parts of yourself to the present moment, that is when the true conversation begins. Fear speaks first. It warns, it protects, it remembers pain. Do not silence it. Listen. Then purpose speaks, calm, unwavering, like a mountain unmoved by storm. Between them, courage rises, not with loud words, but with quiet certainty. These three are part of the same family, all serving your growth. In this sacred inner meeting, discipline becomes your scribe, the one who notes every voice yet gives the final word only to wisdom. It is through discipline that your counsel finds order. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align, you become the leader of your own inner kingdom. This is not imagination, it is awareness in motion. Every decision, every breath, is an opportunity to gather your inner counsel again, to pause, to listen, to choose with clarity. The more you practice this, the less divided you become. Mind follows breath. Body follows mind. Spirit leads quietly. And in that unity, your life begins to move with purpose, no longer ruled by chaos, but guided by an inner harmony that cannot be shaken. Discipline is often mistaken for restriction, but in truth, it is the path that leads to freedom. In the Shaolin way, discipline is not punishment, it is precision, the art of aligning one's actions with one's higher intention. Without it, energy scatters. With it, every moment becomes purposeful, every movement deliberate. Long ago, the monks were taught to rise before dawn, train the body, still the mind, and recite the teachings. At first, it seemed repetitive, even rigid, but with time they discovered that repetition refines the spirit. Each morning bow, each breath, each strike of the staff was not for the body alone. It was a carving of the inner stone, shaping patience, humility, and power. True mastery does not come from bursts of effort, but from the quiet consistency of daily practice. When you commit to small, intentional actions, waking mindfully, speaking truthfully, training with focus, resting with gratitude, you begin to build something invisible yet enduring. These habits form your royal mantle. They become the unseen crown that rests upon your awareness. The undisciplined mind is like a wild horse. It runs wherever impulse leads. But when you train it with care, not force, it becomes your ally, strong, steady, and responsive. In this partnership, you find sovereignty over self. Freedom is not found in doing whatever you wish, but in being free from what once controlled you: distraction, laziness, fear. Discipline creates that freedom. It transforms chaos into clarity, potential into power. Each act of discipline is a declaration of self-respect. Each routine done with awareness becomes a thread in your inner robe of mastery. And over time, those threads weave a life that moves with quiet authority, not ruled by desire, but guided by purpose. Within every person lives two forces, the warrior and the monk. One stands ready to act, fierce in focus and strength. The other sits in silence, rooted in peace and reflection. Many believe these two cannot coexist, but in Shaolin tradition, they are one and the same. The warrior trains the body, the monk trains the mind. Only when both move in harmony does true mastery arise. In the training halls of old, monks practiced combat not to harm, but to understand energy. Every strike was balanced by stillness, every motion followed by a breath of awareness. The purpose was never victory over another, it was victory over oneself. To control one's power, to know when to move and when to yield, is the highest form of discipline. Strength without softness becomes aggression. Softness without strength becomes weakness. The Shaolin path teaches balance. The still mind behind swift motion, the steady breath behind explosive power. When the warrior lifts his hand, the monk within guides it. When the monk sits in meditation, the warrior within protects that peace. In daily life, this balance becomes a living art. There are moments that demand action, clear, bold, and fearless. And there are moments that ask for stillness, to wait, to listen, to trust. The one who can hold both without conflict walks with true power. To embody this is to move through life like water, strong enough to carve stone, gentle enough to reflect the sky. This harmony between action and stillness, force and grace, is not taught by words but by practice. Each breath, each decision is an opportunity to unite the warrior and the monk, and to live from a state of calm strength that nothing outside can disturb. Presence is the true mark of inner royalty. When the mind no longer wanders through past regrets or future worries, a quiet authority awakens within. This is mindfulness, the royal seal of the self-mastered one. It is not about controlling life, but about commanding your attention, moment by moment, with clarity and grace. In Shaolin tradition, the masters teach that meditation is not escape, but refinement. The warrior monk learns to dissolve chaos through awareness. When thoughts rush like wind, he returns to the breath. When emotion surges like fire, he observes without being burned. Through this practice, he rules his inner kingdom with stillness, not force. Every distraction that tries to steal your focus is a test of sovereignty. Will you be carried away, or will you stand as the watcher, calm, present, and unmoved? To pause, to breathe, to witness. This simple act is your crown, your royal command over time itself. For in that pause, you reclaim the only realm that truly belongs to you, the present moment. Mindfulness does not require a temple or a robe. It requires attention. You can practice it as you walk, as you speak, as you breathe. When awareness enters an action, that action becomes sacred. When attention fills a moment, that moment expands into eternity. Over time, mindfulness transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. The way you drink water, the way you greet the morning, the way you listen to silence, all become expressions of mastery. Presence is not passive, it is powerful. It is the quiet confidence of one who no longer seeks control because they have already found peace within. Pause, breathe, witness. That is your royal seal, the signature of a mind in perfect command. There comes a point on the path of mastery when light alone is no longer enough. To know yourself fully, you must step into the shadows, not to fight them, but to understand them. Every doubt, fear, and hidden impulse you suppress becomes a silent ruler of your actions. Shaolin wisdom teaches that self-mastery is not the denial of darkness. It is the courage to face it with an open heart. In the temple, the students were often told, "The monster you refuse to see grows larger in the dark." These words were not meant to frighten, but to awaken awareness. Avoidance feeds the shadow. Attention transforms it. The warrior who runs from fear remains chained by it. The one who faces it with calm breath and clear eyes turns that same fear into strength. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is the part of you that carries power untamed, emotions unacknowledged, and memories unhealed. When you meet it, not with judgment, but with presence, you reclaim pieces of yourself that were lost to shame or resistance. This is the hidden throne, the seat of true sovereignty. Shaolin discipline asks you to train not only your muscles and mind, but also your honesty. Sit with what unsettles you. Watch the thoughts you try to bury. Listen to the emotions that whisper behind your smiles. Each time you choose awareness over avoidance, the shadow bends toward light. This is the royal task, to integrate, not divide, to understand, not suppress. Within your fears lies potential. Within your impulses lies raw life force, waiting to be refined. When you accept every part of yourself as teacher and companion, the war within ends, and from that stillness, your inner throne is claimed, strong, whole, and awake. Wisdom that remains only in the mind is like a bird that never leaves its cage. Thought is the beginning, but embodiment is the flight. In the Shaolin path, understanding is never complete until it is lived. Through breath, through movement, through the posture of presence itself. The body becomes the scripture, the training hall becomes the page. The masters of old would say, a calm mind must live in a calm body. Every stance, every strike, every bow was a form of meditation, a dialogue between awareness and action. When the body moves with intention, the mind follows its rhythm. When breath deepens, thought slows, and the spirit becomes still. This is why physical discipline mirrors mental discipline. Both shape each other in silence. True mastery is not about thinking noble thoughts, but embodying noble energy. The way you stand, the way you walk, the way you breathe, each is a reflection of your inner state. A slouched body reveals a distracted mind. An upright spine and steady gaze announce the presence of one who governs themselves. You can begin this practice anywhere. Stand still for a moment. Feel your feet touch the ground. Let the breath rise and fall naturally. Become aware of the space between inhalation and exhalation, that sacred pause where thought disappears. Move slowly as if the air itself were sacred. This is your royal ritual, a quiet declaration of mastery over the unseen currents within. In living this way, wisdom leaves the realm of ideas and becomes alive in your gestures, your tone, your every step. When body, breath, and mind unite in awareness, you no longer chase wisdom, you are wisdom in motion. And through that embodiment, the ordinary becomes divine. When the inner crown is worn and the mind moves with clarity, purpose rises quietly, like dawn breaking over still waters. It is not forced or invented. It emerges naturally from mastery, from knowing who you are beneath the masks and distractions. In the Shaolin tradition, this alignment of being and action is the path to a good life. A life lived not in pursuit of applause, but in service to the greater whole. Purpose is the quiet duty of the royal self. It asks not for grandeur, but for presence. It asks not for recognition, but for honesty. When mastery has trained the body, disciplined the mind, and steadied the spirit, the question of purpose becomes clear. What gift do I bring? How will I serve? These are not questions of ego. They are invitations to act in accordance with the essence of who you truly are. The monks understood that even the smallest action, performed with full awareness and aligned with one's principles, ripples outward. A kind word, a patient gesture, a mindful breath in the midst of chaos, each is a thread in the fabric of purpose. Your life becomes a canvas where discipline, wisdom, and presence paint not for yourself alone, but for those your path touches. Service is the expression of sovereignty. The royal mantle is not only worn for self-respect, but for the care and guidance of what surrounds you. Purpose is not a distant goal. It is the living, breathing act of embodying the virtues cultivated within. To live in this way is to honor the inheritance of mastery. It is to recognize that your identity carries responsibility. Your skills, your awareness, your discipline, all are meant to serve. Ask yourself daily, how will I act with integrity today? What gift can I share? In these answers, the quiet majesty of your life unfolds, and the inner throne is not only claimed, it is fulfilled. True sovereignty is not worn on a crown or displayed in titles. It lives quietly in the choices made each day, in the tone of a word, the steadiness of a gaze, the patience in a breath. The inner kingdom is present in every relationship, every task, every pause between action and reaction. How you move through life reflects the ruler you have become within. Shaolin wisdom teaches that virtue is the foundation of this inner realm. Humility tempers pride, respect honors others without diminishing self, and loyalty binds purpose to action. The warrior monk trains not only to strike with precision, but to live with integrity, to act from a place of alignment, to navigate life with awareness. These virtues are not abstract. They are the architecture of a life that commands quiet authority. In work, sovereignty shows as focus and intention. Tasks are completed not out of compulsion, but as conscious acts. In rest, sovereignty is the ability to fully release tension and observe without distraction. In relationships, it is the strength to listen, to respond, to act with empathy while remaining rooted in self-knowledge. Every moment becomes a chance to exercise rulership over the self, over the impulses and judgments that often govern human life. Your kingdom is not distant. It is not a reward to be earned in the future. It is here, in the present, in the space where choice and awareness meet. To walk with sovereignty is to carry the inner throne in every action, to let presence guide decisions, and to allow virtue to shape your daily rhythm. The mastery of life is subtle. It is in the pause, the deliberate step, the mindful breath. This is your inheritance, your hidden crown, your kingdom within. Each day, each moment, each choice is an opportunity to rule it wisely, not for recognition, but for the quiet power of being fully awake. As we come to the close of this journey, remember that your true power does not come from titles, recognition, or outward achievements. It comes from the quiet mastery you cultivate within, the discipline of your mind, the stillness of your spirit, and the courage to face every part of yourself. By turning inward, observing your thoughts, embodying awareness, and acting with purpose, you step fully into your identity as a royal descendant of inner wisdom. Your kingdom is not somewhere far away. It exists here, in the choices you make, the presence you bring to each moment, and the compassion you extend to yourself and others. Each day offers a new opportunity to practice mastery, to balance strength and calm, to lead your inner counsel with clarity and intention. Carry these lessons into your daily life. Pause when the world rushes past. Breathe when uncertainty rises. Act with integrity in every moment. These small acts of mindfulness and discipline are the threads that weave your inner crown. May this awareness guide you gently, helping you live each day with quiet power and serenity. Thank you for walking this path with us. If these teachings resonate with you, join our community, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin SoulFire. Step into your inner kingdom and let your life reflect the wisdom you carry within.